gentlemen, this is another article that came out USA Today, August 2nd, 2018. Guess what? The US is admitting that we can't fight our opioid crisis alone. They need help from the entire world to fight the opioid situation going on. They need everybody's help on this globe with this plague. When it comes to opioids, we don't have the luxury of battling it on the home front alone. We need other countries to help us in this crisis. So they want everybody to get on board to fight the opioid plague that's happening in America. I find that to be very interesting. It shows you this is really bad. And it shows you that they are definitely lowballing the number to all of us when it comes down to opioids. If you only have 63,600 Americans dying, why would you care? That number really is not big when you think of the population in America, right? So why would you need the whole globe to get on board with this over such a low number? Because the number's way higher, y'all. Why would you ask other countries around the world for help with your opioid situation and those numbers are that low? That's another thing that's kind of pulling the Band-Aid off of the lies that are being told. So, and deaths specifically from opioids trafficked from overseas more than double from 2015 to 2016. Experts predict that nearly 500,000 Americans could lose their lives to opioids over the next decade. Please, you know what? At this point, I really believe it's well over 1 million people that have died from this thing. We just have to expect they are not going to ever tell the truth. So what they are saying is they want other countries to get involved, especially Mexico and China, because those are your ones that are heavily pushing all of the drugs into the US. And it's coming from Canada. I don't even know why they got Canada excluded, because a lot of drugs come across the Canadian border as well. Curb fentanyl production overseas. It starts with reducing the production of fentanyl, which can make a huge difference and save countless lives. US diplomacy has been a key factor focused on assisting the Chinese to improve and enforce their laws. And see, that's the thing. The Chinese do not go after the drug cartels as heavy as they do here in the US. The Chinese were initially slow to ban production of new drugs that mimic fentanyl's effect. As a result, large quantities are manufactured there at low cost and sold abroad. U.S. diplomatic pressure is helping change that by getting China to ban production of 4 of these analogs. They're talking about the fentanyl analogs that are coming into the country. In 2017, China's new law are enabling our government to carry out joint investigations and go after Chinese producers and distributors. But you know what? China won't even send their drug cartels here. There's a couple of them that have been caught, and China don't ship them to the U.S. And the U.S. gets upset about that, but there's really nothing they can do. And also, when they're jailed over there, their jail sentences are lenient. They don't get put in jail like they do here. When they catch a drug cartel, they may put them behind bars for really the rest of their lives. But over in China, they got more lenient kind of sentences. To prevent other countries from producing fentanyl, as China cracks down, the United States is pressuring multilateral bodies to tighten global regulations, including getting the United Nations Commission on Narcotic Drugs to strictly regulate fentanyl's key ingredients worldwide. With additional engagement, America can help enforce these new global regulations and make it harder for new fentanyl-like drugs to evade existing laws. In a step in the right direction, the United States recently secured an unambiguous, you know what? Let me just stop right here. I'm sorry. Let me just stop right here. Illegal drugs are never going to stop coming to the US. Now, they'll get all of these things in places, regulation, laws, and throw more money because they seem to have a ton of money to throw into this drug plague that's going on. And no matter how hard they have tried over these last 20 years, this thing is going strong and it's killing more people than ever. Too much money is being made on illegal drugs. A lot of lives have been lost, but they don't care about that. They really don't care. The only thing the politicians in the US are doing is shoving more money at it, but they have probably put over $1 trillion into this drug plague, and it's not going anywhere because that's not the answer in resolving this whole thing. See, the answer in resolving it is what they don't want to do, and that's mass incarcerate these junkies. But see, that's how we got out of the crack addiction. We got out of the crack addiction from mass incarceration. Once people were in prison, they had no choice but to dry out from the drug. So mass incarceration actually helped in eliminating the crack cocaine addiction that was going on in the Black community. And we know the government set us up. It was not like the opioid plague where these people freely go to their doctors and get 500 pills at one time. We didn't have the luxury of doing that. The whole thing was forced upon us. But if you look at it on terms of a global scale, all of these countries are making a lot of money, right? Mexico's making a lot of money, China, and even here in the US, a lot of money is being made off of illegal drugs. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, China ain't going to work hard to stop that fentanyl to come here. They're not. Everybody is benefiting at the expense of the drug user. And then they have amnesty, so the drug user never goes to jail. So you can call for help when they pass out, and when they bring them back from Narcan, they don't go to jail. They don't go to jail. And right now, you see them setting up injection sites. So if they're setting up injection sites, how are you discouraging these people from being on the drug? You're not. You're enablers at that point. You're enabling them. You're saying, come here, shoot up your illegal drugs in front of medical staff where they can watch and monitor you, check your pulse, check your heart rate, make sure you're okay. And if you're not okay, we can hit you with a few doses of Narcan. That's enabling, in my opinion. You're enabling them to be on drugs. But I don't know. How do you fight a plague that has gone on for 20 years and millions of your citizens are abusing the drug? How do you fight that? You can't. You can't. Not the way they're doing it. You can't. And to be honest with you, I have seen them push all this legislation before, especially when it comes down to drugs coming across the Mexican border. It has not slowed up any of the drugs coming across the border. Not at all. You know? So just seeing them put these regulations in place, I just don't see this drug plague going anywhere. Maybe I'm missing something, you know? And even on the dark web, the majority of the packages, those drug packages are making it to their destination. And that's the homes of these people that are ordering the drugs through the dark web. And if you remember, I think it was last summer, the FBI shut down a lot of dark web um, pages that were selling drugs. But as you can see, it didn't make an impact on the opioid plague that's going on. It made no impact whatsoever. It did not drop the amount of people that were using opioids at all. It's still going strong. So shutting down some pages on the dark web, that's not going to work. So until they deal with the user, this ain't going nowhere. And they're still screaming it's public health. And, the user should not be in jail. That's not the thing to do. And you can best believe this is not going anywhere. America right now is enabling junkies. They're not helping. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I will leave the link to this article in the description box. Peace, family.